The Apocalypse of Elijah. Chapter 1. The word of Yahudah came to me, saying, Son of man, say to this people, why do you add sin to your sins and anger Yahudah Elohim, who created you? Don't love the world or the things which are in the world, for the boasting of the world and its destruction belong to the devil. Remember that Yahudah of glory, who created everything, had mercy upon you, so that he might save us from the captivity of this age. For many times the devil desired not to let the sun rise above the earth, and not to let the earth yield fruit, since he desires to consume men like a fire, which rages in stubble, and he desires to swallow them like water. Therefore, on account of this, the Elohim of glory had mercy upon us, and he sent his Son to the world, so that he might save us from the captivity. He did not inform a Malach or an arch-Malach or any principality when he was about to come to us, but he changed himself to be like a man when he was about to come to us, so that he might save us from flesh. Therefore, become sons to him, since he is a father to you. Remember that he has prepared thrones and crowns for you in Shamayim, saying, everyone who will obey me will receive thrones and crowns among those who are mine. The Adon said, I will write my name upon their forehead, and I will seal their right hand, and they will not hunger or thirst, neither will the son of lawlessness prevail over them, nor will the thrones hinder them, but they will walk with the Malachim up to my city. Now, as for the sinners, they will be shamed, and they will not pass by the thrones, but the thrones of death will seize them and rule over them, because the Malachim will not agree with them. They have alienated themselves from his dwellings. Hear, O wise men of the land, concerning the deceivers, who will multiply in the last times, so that they will set down for themselves doctrines which do not belong to Elohim, setting aside the law of Elohim, those who have made their belly their Elohim, saying, the fast does not exist, nor did Elohim create it, making themselves strangers to the covenant of Elohim, and robbing themselves of the glorious promises. Now these are not ever correctly established in the firm belief. Therefore, don't let those people lead you astray. Remember that from the time when he created the Shamayim, Yahudah created the fast for a benefit to men on account of the passions and desires which fight against you, so that the evil will not inflame you. But it is a pure fast which I have created, said Yahudah. The one who fasts continually will not sin, although jealousy and strife are within him. Let the pure one fast, but whenever the one who fasts is not pure, he has angered Yahudah and also the Malachim, and he has grieved his soul, gathering up wrath for himself for the day of wrath. But a pure fast is what I created, with a pure heart and pure hands. It releases sin, it heals diseases, it casts out demons. It is effective up to the throne of Elohim for an ointment and for a release from sin by means of a pure prayer. Who among you, if he is honored in his craft, will go forth to the field without a tool in his hand? Or who will go forth to the battle to fight without a breastplate on? If he is found, will he not be killed because he despised the service of the king? Likewise, no one is able to enter the Kodesh place if he is double-minded. The one who is double-minded in his prayer is darkness to himself, and even the Malachim do not trust him. Therefore be single-minded in Yahudah at all times, so that you might know every moment. Chapter 2. Furthermore, concerning the kings of Assyria and the dissolution of the Shamayim and the earth and the things beneath the earth. Now therefore, those who are mine will not be overcome, says Yahudah, nor will they fear in the battle. When they see a king who rises in the north, who will be called the king of Assyria and the king of injustice, he will increase his battles and his disturbances against Mitzrayim. The land will groan together, because your children will be seized. Many will desire death in those days, but death will flee them. And the king who will be called the King of Peace will rise up in the west. He will run upon the sea like a roaring lion. He will kill the king of injustice, and he will take vengeance on Mitzrayim with battles and much bloodshed. It will come to pass in those days that he will command a peace and a vain gift in Mitzrayim. He will give peace to those who are Kodesh, saying, the name of Elohim is one. He will give honors to the saints and exalting to the places of the saints. He will give vain gifts to the house of Elohim. He will wander around in the cities of Mitzrayim with guile, without their knowing. He will take count of the Kodesh places. He will weigh the idols of the heathen. He will take count of their wealth. He will establish priests for them. He will command that the wise men and the great ones of the people be seized, and they will be brought to the metropolis, which is by the sea, saying, there is but one language. But when you hear, peace and joy exist, I will. Now I will tell you his sign, so that you might know him. For he has 2 sons, one on his right and one on his left. The one on his right will receive a demonic face, and he will fight against the name of Elohim. Now 4 kings will descend from that king. In his 30th year he will come up to Memphis, and he will build a temple in Memphis. On that day his own son will rise up against him and kill him. The whole land will be disturbed. On that day he will issue an order over the whole land, so that the priests of the land and all of the saints will be seized, saying, you will repay double every gift and all of the good things which my father gave you. He will shut up the Kodesh places. He will take their houses. He will take their sons prisoner. He will order and sacrifices and abominations, and bitter evils will be done in the land. He will appear before the sun and the moon. On that day, the priests of the land will tear their clothes. Woe to you, O rulers of Mitzrayim, in those days, because your day has passed. The violence being done to the poor will turn against you, and your children will be seized as plunder. In those days the city of Mitzrayim will groan, for the voice of the one who sells and the one who buys will not be heard. The markets of the cities of Mitzrayim will become dusty. Those who are in Mitzrayim will weep together. They will desire death, but death will flee and leave them. In those days they will run up to the rocks and leap off, saying, "Fall upon us," and still they will not die. A double affliction will multiply upon the whole land. In those days the king will command, and all the nursing women will be seized and brought to him bound. They will suckle serpents, and their blood will be drawn from their breasts, and it will be applied as poison to the arrows. On account of the distress of the cities, he will command again, and all the young lads from 12 years and under will be seized and presented in order to teach them to shoot arrows. The midwife who is upon the earth will grieve. The woman who has given birth will lift her eyes to Shamayam, saying, "Why did I sit upon the birth stool to bring forth a son to the earth?" The barren woman and the virgin will rejoice, saying, "It is our time to rejoice, because we have no child upon this earth, but our children are in Shamayam." In those days 3 kings will arise among the Persians, and they will take captive the Ivri who are in Mitzrayim. They will bring them to Yerushalayim, and they will inhabit it and dwell there. Then when you hear that there is security in Yerushalayim, tear your garments, O priests of the land, because the son of perdition will soon come. In those days the lawless one will appear in the Kodesh places. In those days the kings of the Persians will hasten, and they will stand to fight with the kings of Assyria. 4 kings will fight with 3. They will spend 3 years in that place until they carry off the wealth of the temple which is in that place. In those days blood will flow from Kos to Memphis. The river of Mitzrayim will become blood, and they will not be able to drink from it for 3 days. Woe to Egypt, Mitzrayim, and those who are in it. In those days a king will arise in the city which is called the city of the sun, and the whole land will be disturbed. He will flee to Memphis with the Persians. In the 6th year the Persian kings will plot an ambush in Memphis. They will kill the Assyrian king. The Persians will take vengeance on the land, and they will command to kill all the heathen and the lawless ones. They will command to build the temples of the saints. They will give double gifts to the house of Eliyah. They will say, "The name of Eliyah is one." The whole land will hail the Persians. Even the remnant who did not die under the afflictions will say, "Yahudah has sent us a righteous king, so that the land will not become a desert." He will command that no royal matter be presented for 3 years and 6 months. The land will be full of good and an abundant well-being. Those who are alive will go to those who are dead, saying, "Rise up and be with us in this rest." Chapter 3. In the 4th year of that king, the son of lawlessness will appear, saying, "I am Mashiach," although he is not. Don't believe him. When Mashiach comes, he will come in the manner of a covey of doves, with the crown of doves surrounding him. He will walk upon the Shamayam vaults with the sign of the stake leading him. The whole world will behold him like the sun, which shines from the eastern horizon to the western. This is how he will come, with all his malachim surrounding him. But the son of lawlessness will begin to stand again in the Kodesh places. He will say to the sun, "Eshun, fall," and it will fall. He will say, shine, and it will do it. He will say, darken, and it will do it. He will say to the moon, become bloody, and it will do it. He will go forth with them from the sky. He will walk upon the sea and the rivers as upon dry land. He will cause the lame to walk. He will cause the deaf to hear. He will cause the dumb to speak. He will cause the blind to see. The lepers he will cleanse. The ill he will heal. The demons he will cast out. He will multiply his signs and wonders in the presence of everyone. He will do the works which Mashiach did, except for raising the dead alone. In this you will know that he is the son of lawlessness, because he is unable to give life. For behold, I will tell you his signs, so that you might know him. He is of a skinny-legged young lad, having a tuft of gray hair at the front of his bald head. His eyebrows will reach to his ears. There is a leprous bare spot on the front of his hands. He will transform himself in the presence of those who see him. He will become a young child. He will become old. He will transform himself in every sign, but the signs of his head will not be able to change. Therein you will know that he is the son of lawlessness.